Hello everyone, this is Tau Command Stan here, and today I'm going to show you how to use my new script called Tau Script Maker. I'm just going to start it up really quick, and then I will talk a little bit more about it. Alright, and here we go. So, now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Alright. So, now the concept of this script is that you can create any script you want with this really easy to use, simple, user-friendly GUI, user interface. And I'm going to show you how that works and just how easy it is to use. So I'm just going to click New Script here. It's pretty obvious how to start making a new script. And I'm just going to call it Demo. Now, this is where things can seem a little bit confusing, but it's not. It's actually very easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to look to your left, and make this a little bit smaller. You're going to look to your left and you're going to see these two different sections here, actions and conditions. Now really quickly I'd like to remind everyone that this is in beta, and that in fact it's actually in alpha, as you can see over here, but it's about to go into beta. And a lot of things are going to move around, change, and so this video will probably become outdated pretty quickly, so I'm just going to be going over the basics. So don't take anything I say in this video as set in stone, because things are going to move around. Then when the script is released, I will make a new video showing all of the updated features and how to use the script then. Anyways, so let's get started, and here you can see that you have two different types of blocks, actions and conditions. So we're just going to start with something really simple like clicking a tree. So we're just going to go to actions, clicking, and then before I do that, I want you to look at this box down here, this white box, as I hover over it. Hover over different blocks. And you can see that it shows a description of whatever you're hovering over. And again, I'm going to add more detailed descriptions and a ton of more blocks as the script gets further into beta and then is finally released, because it's missing a lot of features right now just because of the fact that it's just being released and is going into beta. So without further ado, let's move this block over here by just pressing down the left click and then dragging over. You can see I'll just add a couple just to show you. And then to remove, you can right-click remove, or you can select the block by left-clicking it and then pressing the delete key. So now I'm just going to show you that right now you can see that it's red. That means that it is not ready to be used yet. There's an error with it, and it's because we haven't set what we want to click. And so you can see here it's a clickable value. Something that is clickable needs to be set here. And to change that, all I need to do is click it. And then this window pops up, and then I can choose from a bunch of different things to can select a bunch of different things, a bunch of different options of what I might want to click. And this is another thing, the value types. I am going to be adding a bunch more of these as the script goes on. And I have not done this yet, but this area here is going to be where the description is shown, and it's going to work the same way as the block description does. So, without further ado, let's say that we want to walk to the tree, or click the tree, sorry. So I'm just going to do object with name, then click done. And then you can see that it expands here. So it still says click, but now it says click an object with the name of text and any number of tiles. So we want to set the name to tree. So let's do that by clicking where it says text. Then it opens this. I enter tree, then press done. And then here, I'm gonna again click this, and then you can see that I can enter a bunch of different things. So I could, if I wanted to, I could choose the distance between two tiles, or I could even set the range to the number of items in the inventory, but why would I want to do that? So I'm just going to go over here and go to a simple value, select whole number, done, 30, done, and then you can see that now it is a regular white color and nothing is slanted or in italics anymore, which means that it is ready to go. So I am going to go up to here, press File, and then Save so that I'm good. and then you probably notice that the script isn't logging in. If I want the script to log in, I have two options. I can go here and go to File, Settings, and then enable the login bot here, or I can just press Test Script, and then when I do that, it automatically enables the login bot. And so you can see now that it is logging in, and we'll just give that a second. Alright, so now you can see that it is going to be going to the tree that it wants to click, and clicking it. And so there you go. That's how that works. So we're going to stop that test. Now, you are probably wondering about how you can chain different blocks together. And by chain blocks together, I mean make something more complicated than just going to a tree and click it. So this is where it starts getting a little bit more complicated, but not really. We're going to go to Other down here, and then we're going to go to Logic, and then do Actions If. So what this is going to do is if whatever block I put here is, if it's, you can put an action or a condition. So you can check something. So you can say, you can check if, well, I'll show you a couple of the options by opening this menu. So you can see bank. For example, you can do, is the bank open? Is the inventory full or empty? Is your player animating? Is your player moving? Etc., etc. Or you can do an actual action. So you can do click. I could actually drag this block here. And then it would be if this click is successful, so if the tree is successfully clicked, then do whatever this action is here. And so what I'm going to do is, well, first let me explain. When you see this little plus here, that means that you can add an unlimited amount of things, blocks. So you can see I can just keep adding whatever I want. And then you can see that you can keep adding more if statements. And that's what these are called. They're called if statements, do actions if. And you can keep expanding them out as far as you want. And at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, that is really complicated. I promise you it is not. It is so easy to use. And when you are going to be using this is going to be in much more complicated scenarios. But for just a simple script, all you're going to need to do is use these basic blocks like this, because these blocks take care of most things for you. Click, for example, takes care of walking and waiting for your player to stop moving when it's walking to the object, and waits for it to stop doing whatever action it's done. So if you say click tree, this block will wait for you to click the tree. So I'm going to show you actually a more, give you a little bit more flexibility. So I'm going to move this block, and I'm going to add click option. So same thing here. We're going to just go objects, objects with name, and then if you I'm going to select it so it opens up, you can see the description, and I'm just going to set this to tree, and then this I'm going to also, really quickly, if you right click, it brings up the default value. So let's say you just want to enter a regular number, I can right click and it brings up this menu right here. And so I'm going to enter 30 so that I don't have to go through this whole menu. Also, if you click your scroll wheel or center mouse button, you can edit the current value, which is exceptionally useful if you have a more complicated value. So if you have a list of tiles that you want to edit or something like that, you don't have to go through and make a new value every single time. And I'll actually show you that really quickly. Let's see if we do, I'll just do drop items. So this is an item group, so I'm going to open that up here, and so you can see I'll add, let's just do this, and we'll just add that. And then if I say done, you can see that's a lot of stuff, and if I have a bunch of stuff in a list, I don't want to have to go through and make a new one every time. But if I press the middle click button, or you can see if I hold down shift and then regular click, it also works. So if you're using a laptop or something that doesn't have a middle click, you can still do that. And you can edit the values instead of having to make a new list. So anyways, I'm going to remove that and then go back and finish this. So I've set the object to clicking to a tree within 30 tiles of your player, and the option that I want to select is going to be chop. And so this is useful for example, there are objects called tree stumps after you've chopped down a tree, and we don't want to get stuck trying to click a tree stump over and over again. So what this is going to do is it's going to select the option chop to make sure that you click the right option, and it's also going to only choose objects that have this option. So it will ignore tree stumps or anything that is a tree but that can't be chopped. So let's try this again, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to press test script, and you can see that it's running, turning to the tree, and there you go. And you can see now it's waiting for it to, oh, and I forgot to have an axe. Let's stop the test, and I'll go get one really quick. Actually, I don't need to do that. You understand. But it will wait for the, while I'm talking, I'll just get it, but it will wait for the player to stop chopping so that you don't have to worry about, let's say that you have it set to walk to the bank after you're done. You don't have to worry about that block being run before it's done chopping. So in fact, I'll show you that right now. Let's go to banking and walk to bank. Well, actually, I'll show you open bank. So now let's test that out. So you can see that it clicked right there. It's done. And now it is going to open the bank, and it highlights the current block that it's executing. So you can see there it goes, opening the bank. And now it'll go back and chop a tree, which isn't very useful. You'd want to add more blocks. But you can see that it's really easy to do, and you don't have to do a bunch of complicated checks. All you have to do is just add the blocks that you want. So just chopped a tree. Now it's going back and opening the bank. And notice how most of these blocks have all of the things necessary inside of them. Turning the camera, activating the run energy, walking, all of those things are already inside of all of these blocks. So you don't have to do this. You don't have to do, let's stop the test. You don't have to do walk to bank, open bank, withdraw. You don't have to do that. You only have to do one of them. The other blocks, these blocks such as walk to bank, they are there to add more flexibility if someone wants to make a more complicated script. And in a future release, I'm probably going to be hiding those blocks for people who only need the more direct blocks, the more useful ones, because it's not very often that you want to open a bank without withdrawing something from it or depositing something into it. That just isn't something that people do. However, for now, because it's still in beta, we are going to have what is here. Now, what's really important is, because this video has been going on for at least 13 minutes and 35 seconds, so I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon. There are a couple of more things I want to go over. Another one is custom blocks, so I'm going to just create a new one here, click New Custom Block, and I'm going to call this Chop Tree. Oops, I actually already have a block called that, so I'm going to load it, yes. And you can see that I actually have a full set of things here that I already made from before. So walk to an object. If I successfully walk to a tree, then click the option chop, and then you can see that this is actually unnecessary now because I have made it so that the blocks automatically do everything. So all of this that you see here can be replaced with just this block. That's how easy it is. And I'm going to press, well actually I'm going to go to File and then Save All, and you can see that if a block has not been saved yet, then it is bold. So I'll make a change. Say I'll do oak tree. And you can see it becomes bold, which means it needs to be saved. And if I try to close it, it'll ask me, do I want to save changes? And I'll just say, I'll just cancel that. And then I'll do File and Save again. So you can see that it has been saved. Now, back to what I was talking about with custom blocks. Sorry, I got on a bit of a tangent there. That you can now that I have that custom block created, you can see this chop tree. I can go down here to custom blocks, and these work the same way that regular blocks do. So I can drag this chop tree, walk to, and then chop the nearest tree, and it will run whatever is in here. So I can add whatever random things, click continue, doesn't matter. Whatever is in here is going to be run when this is here. So if you have a bunch of things that you want to do at once, you can put them all into a custom block and then run that block like this. And you can see test 1, 2, that is me just testing out this feature, which I will show you. Again, this is in beta, so some of these things are a little bit finicky, but I am going to right click and then edit, and you can see that this opens up this. This is the text that is displayed. So right there you can see walk to and chop the nearest tree. I am going to set it to, we are going to do walk to and then chop the nearest tree while turning the camera and dancing, which doesn't actually happen, but we'll just say that that's the description as an example. Then here we'll set the actual description to we'll just do this. And then I'll press done. And now this right here is going to reflect it, you can see. Walk to and then chop the nearest tree while turning the camera and dancing. And then this is an example, so you can see that those values updated. So that can be really useful so that you can keep track of your custom blocks. And yeah, so one other thing that I want to show before ending this video is I'm going to go into here and go File, Settings, Graphics, and there are going to be a lot more settings added. And I'm going to do Show Block Notes, and you can see here that that notes field has been added. And I'm going to press Done. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to write a note to myself for that specific block. So I'm going to get rid of this block, and I'm going to go to, let's just add a regular click. And we'll say that we want to click a tile, and we'll say that we want to click this tile. And I'm going to make the notes this. This block doesn't do anything useful. And that note is just for this block, so you can see I add another click block and the note will be empty. So this is really useful for if you're making a big script and you want to remember what something does, you can enter in notes to yourself. By default, the notes are hidden because for most people they aren't going to be needed. But if you do want them, you can enable them by going into Graphics and then using this option here. So, oh wow, I logged out and am now being logged back in. That's nice. So, and again, you can see here the login bot enabled automatically set to the correct value, so I can disable that, re-enable it, whatever I want. And so that's pretty much the basic idea. So you can use all of these different things and mess around with it in whatever way that you want. Now, if anyone has any questions, if anyone actually has reached this stage of the video, because I have been talking for a very long time, then you can post them on the beta thread, which I will be making in about 5 minutes. But whenever you see this video, the thread will already have been posted, so that's not really relevant. But anyways, so you can post on the beta thread any questions you have. any comments you have, any suggestions you have. Most of the time, scripters get very upset when you suggest features because they find it incredibly annoying. I am telling you to do the exact opposite. If you have a suggestion for me, please post it on the thread. If there's something that you find difficult to understand or difficult to use about this script, please tell me. The purpose of this script is to be incredibly easy, so that if you need a simple private script or simple script for yourself, you don't have to spend an absurd amount of money on something that you know is incredibly simple. And that's what this is for, is to make private scripts and being able to make your own scripts affordable and fun too. So that's really important. Also, the last thing, remember, is in beta. Things are going to be changing. This video, when the script is actually released, is going to be cut down to about 10 minutes with much more useful and much more concise information, because this video I am just making because it's useful. Now, here's what I'm going to do. The script has been running for 21 minutes exactly at this point. I am going to give anyone, now don't tell anyone else, but if anyone actually manages to reach this point in the video, send me a PM with the text. I am going to write it down right here in the chat box. Send me a message, a PM, on Tribot saying that, and you will get 25% off of this script when it is released premium. Just because I want to see how many people have actually managed to reach it through a 21-minute tutorial video. So, that's a thing. Yeah, so I'm not really quite sure how to end this video, so I'm just going to say peace.